Hello to any computer camera. So today I'm trying to multitask. So I'm going to be cooking whilst I'm talking. I just hope I don't set myself on fire or cut my fingers off. So I've been thinking about what I want to do for today's topic, and I was having a little think about my childhood. And I had a really good childhood. I was a very happy kid, but at the same time, I was kind of really weird. Like really weird. Like sociopath weird. Chopping chicken time. I'm making a curry. So one of these stories was that as a kid I had an imaginary friend. My imaginary friend was called Avgar, which is the Greek word for eggs. I don't know why, but that was her name. And one day we were going on holiday. As we were leaving for the airport in the car, I suddenly freaked out and started shouting at my dad that we'd left Avgar at home and that she was going to be left by herself. My father, not wanting to turn back round on the motorway just to pick up my imaginary friend, said, well, she'll be fine and she'll be there when you get back. So we have a lovely holiday. I don't really worry about Avgar. In fact, I kind of just forgot she existed, I guess. But when we got back home to London, and I got back to the house, apparently I was really distraught. And when I was asked why, the reason was because apparently Avgar's parents had come back, had cut her into pieces, put her into a suitcase and thrown her into a lake. My other story is basically a number of stories. It's basically that I was a pathological liar. And I wouldn't lie when I got caught doing something. I wouldn't lie to get out of trouble. At least that makes sense. I would just lie just for the sake of it, because it was fun. I had a fictional cat called Snowball for a year and a half that I used to write journal entries about at school. And then when my teacher found out that the cat wasn't real, then my parents had to get called in for a meeting. It's kind of messed up. Please don't judge me too hard. I once told my parents that my best friend, a boy called Matteo, I told them that his father had been killed. This story got around, and in the end, he had to go and see therapy at school because I made him pretend that his father was dead to keep up my lie that I had told. And so this poor kid ends up being given sort of counselling at school for a dead father who isn't actually dead. Safe to say, when my parents found out that I had lied about that, they were pissed. So far we have a really vivid and highly disturbed fantasy world. Pathological lying, and just to finish it off, I used to do some really cruel stuff. I had a really nasty streak. There was a girl called Romy when I was 7 in my class, and she was singing The Little Mermaid. And for some reason it was really winding me up, so I told her that she had to stop. We were using glue guns at the time, so maybe you can see where this is going. She refused to stop, so I glue gunned all of her fingers together, held her hand and glue gunned them all together and made her clench her hand shut. This is hot glue. Of course, I really badly burnt her hand, so she started crying, and when the teacher came over, I just said, I don't know what happened, Mrs. Muir. I think she might have slipped. She's quite clumsy. So, what do you think? Was I Damien? Was I just an evil kid? Or do you think all kids are just a bit evil? What's the worst thing that you did as a kid? Preferably if it's funny and maybe a little bit dark. That's always quite amusing. So, that's all for now. Have a great weekend. Don't wave knives around. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye! Every time I'm trying to persuade you that I'm really normal, I'm really shady and holding a knife.